Hey, Magic fans, welcome back. This is the Captain speaking here on Captain Clyde's MTG. Today we're going to start our card watch series for the market of cards going up and down from previous weeks, day by day, and just to bring some light on the market shifts of ebbs and flows to kind of give you guys an idea of what's going on in the market, card wise, and what may be fueling some of those price changes. So it'll be real interesting as I give this first couple tries. Feel free to eat me up in the comment section for all the crap I'm about to get wrong. But I think it's very interesting to watch how these cards move and ebb and flow throughout the market and secondary market once they've been printed. And it's going to be nice to let's actually go through this. And who knows, maybe one of these cards is hiding in your closet somewhere. You want to pull it out and get some money out of it before it goes back down. So with that said, nothing's really off the table except for newer cards. For example, lots of movement in the Dominaria Remastered area. I'm not going to cover that because we've got at least a couple more weeks for them to come out. Cards are going up, cards are going down. The market's way too crazy for me to start including those yet. So we're going to go through some pretty normal stuff. Standard, Commander, hit up Pioneer, even Legacy every now and then. But the main thing we're looking for is big market mover percentage wise and dollar amounts. So uh, let's give this a try, and you guys tell me what you think below. And while you're at it, go ahead and subscribe. I'm trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. So first card in the market we're going to go through is our standard. We only got one card to talk about, Shieldred the Apocalypse, because, she's everywhere. This is something probably not just fueled by standard. I mean, she's in Pioneer, Brawl, Commander, maybe even Modern at this point. I mean, I know she's 4 mana, but we got 4 mana, 5 mana decks floating around Modern now, so there's that. But this is an insane card and an insane price for a standard card. I mean, this is the base bare bones copy. We're talking an average of $65. This has went up about $3.5 since the filming of this video. Um, so it was around 62. Now it's at 65. The card's going up and down as you can see here in the market, but it's actually pretty much on just an upward trend as it's slowly creeping up. Here in the last week, it took that, like I mentioned, that $3 to $4 jump. So it's stabilized again. Will it go up again? I think it's going to depend on what kind of formats we got coming up, what kind of events. Um, I do know that I think Philadelphia, MGT, the Magic Con Philadelphia is coming up. Depending on what kind of decks show up there, that may cause yet another spike in this card that we'll have to keep an eye out for. So keep that in mind. But all in all, I gotta say, I like the card too. I love it. I mean, I can't. I don't want to throw shade because I want to see Magic cards worth money, but man, these can be hard to get. Well, I seen one of my patrons told me that they opened a whole box and didn't get one, um, which can be very disappointing since one of these cards will pay for almost the whole box at this point if you're getting draft. Um, my suggestion: buy a set box or buy a collector box. I think every collector box I opened had some version of Shieldred in it. If not the cheap version, the more expensive ones. So, and sometimes in foil. It was very nice. But anyway, getting a little off topic. But anyway, that's the only card to watch in standard currently, but it is a doozy. So, next we're going to run through. Let's hit the commander side. We've got a lot of movement from commander guys. So, here we have Cyber Drive Awakener. This thing has had a big spike here just in the last week. So, if you look at the Cyberdrive Awakener, now again, this is just the base. This is not, the extended art or anything. So this is straight out of the set. Old price $6.48. New price $10.90. That is a 68% increase in just this one card. So you got a 1 blue and 5 for a 4/4. Other artifact creatures you control have flying. The Awakener enters the battlefield until end of turn. Each non-creature artifact you control becomes an artifact creature huge with base power and toughness of 4/4. Because of Brothers War, Rise of the Machines, all the Phyrexian stuff, this card is becoming huge in Commander in artifact decks. Yes, it's 6 mana. But at the same time, don't forget, this thing is an artifact, which means Power Stones can power it out. So you could easily get this out on turn 3 or 4, and then all of a sudden, all those Power Stones you've been making to make this thing are now 4/4s. And huge. Not to mention, you ain't got to crew this thing. It just comes in as a 4/4 and it flies. All your other artifacts begin flying, so you can make a bunch of Power Stones or whatever, lay this thing, and literally go over the top for the win in Commander. Seems pretty good, and it seems to be that is what's driving this one. All right, we're going to keep going. Next, we have Creeping Bloodsucker. So, there's going to be a lot of stuff on here from Jumpstart that's going straight into Commander decks. So, let's get started on that. So, the Creeping Bloodsucker is just a common, and you can see there's a big spike over here when it first came out. I'm pretty sure that was not a thing. But with that said, if we look at Creeping Bloodsucker just as a in general card, here lately it's really went up in value due to a lot of things. And those main things is just its ability. It's a 1 black, 1/1, a 1 black and 1 for a 1/2, not bad. At the beginning of your upkeep, it deals 1 damage to each opponent. You gain life equal to the damage dealt this way. In a 4-player commander game, that it deals 3 damage, you gain 3 life. That's an insane price swing. It was $1.10. It went up to $3.49. That is insane for a common. Just gonna put that out there. But since it's only in Jumpstart, I mean, it's just a thing. So, this makes, I mean, if you get this card or this deck, I guess you could quote unquote say, as your Jumpstart pack, not only are you looking for good mythics and rares in that pack, just getting the Creeping Bloodsucker almost pays for the pack at $3.50 at this point. And since it's not being printed anywhere else other than Jumpstart, it's going to be a very hard card to get as a common. But it's making a big splash in Commander because of what it does. So this is definitely one of the big hits, as it's almost a 300%, if not more, increase in price. Next we have Black Market Connections. Yes, that's right. Commander Legends Battles for Baldur's Gate. You know, that set that has all the crap in it? Well, not all of it's crap, but still, a lot of it is. So this is actually in the Commander deck for Battle for Baldur's Gate. So that's something to think about. With that said, it's highly playable. People have seen it. It's caught on a lot in Commander because of what it does. It's a black and 2 enchantment. It says at the beginning of your pre-combat main phase, you could choose one or more. You can create a treasure token and lose a life. You can draw a card, lose 2 life. Have a mercenary create. You can create a 3/2 colorless shapeshifting creature token with changeling and lose 3 life. Now the keyword there is choose one or more. You can do all 3 of those if you want. And in Commander with a high life total or life gain or whatever, this is insane for 3 mana. And that's really pushed the price up. People love this card. It's a really almost a cross, if not. I mean, well, you guys give me your idea. You guys probably play Commander more than I do, so Commander players chime in. It's almost a cross between Rhystic Study and Smothering Tide, where you get to pick what you want or get all you want. So it's really cool. Because even if you choose one, the worst thing that's going to happen, you lose 1 life. So at worst, it's Bitter Blossom. At best, it's lose 6 and just have everything. Ramp, draw a card, make a creature, just insane. So with that said, Black Market Connections was $31. It has went up now to $34.99. That is a 12.5% increase in card price. I thought it was relevant to put this in here because A, it sees a lot of Commander play, and B, it's from a set that a lot of people just don't like because, we were bait and switch, whatever you want to call it, The Commander Legends set was awful, and what's really bad is this isn't even in the set. This is in one of the precons, which is actually something we're used to seeing as good precons, so it's just really weird. Now, with that said, we'll keep going on. We're back to Jumpstart again in 2020. So we have Lita, the mechanical engineer. So I went ahead and included the Jumpstart stuff because I think it's been out long enough now that we can get some real good, um, let's just say, ideas uh, of what they're worth. So Lita here, over the last week, has slowly went up from 26.50 to 29.45, 11% increase. It's a white and 2 for a 3/3 of vigilance at the beginning of your instep. Untap each other artifact creature you control again with Brothers War, Phyrexia. It makes this a hot topic and a great card for Commander. 4 mana tap, create a 5/5 colorless vehicle artifact named Zeppelin, Flying Crew 3. Like, this thing's insane. And as you can see here, it's been slowly, it came out strong. People liked it. It started to wane, but people started realizing it was good, and it started picking back up again, and now it's above the beginning asking price. And again, Jumpstart 2022 making a strong showing. So we'll continue on. Next, we have the Nautiloid ship. Yes, another Commander Legends one from Baldur's Gate. Thought you were going to get away from it, didn't you? But no. So, 4 colorless flyer, 5/5. When it enters the battlefield, exile target player's graveyard. Whenever the ship deals combat damage to a player, put a creature card with the ship that's been exiled by the ship onto the battlefield under your control. This thing is insane for 4 mana. Not only does it solve a graveyard recursion and what have you, you can steal all the sweet stuff out of their graveyard. Um, hadn't seen a whole lot of play as of late, but as more things like graveyard manipulation, um, or whatever else you want to call the graveyard shenanigans that's going on at the time, this is really starting to come into its own and actually start to raise in price. So this thing was starting off as of the week around $3.75. It's now up to almost $8, starting to see a lot of play in Commander. And again, mainly because of what I talked about, right? You can get, pull the good stuff out of someone's graveyard, put it into play. It's almost close to a 50% increase. It's really insane. But as you can see here, it really got popular here, especially when artifacts came out. It went back down, but the artifact themes that are going around, especially in Commander now with all the artifacts we have access to, is really starting to stabilize the price back up. We may see this card go up even more. So if you haven't got one yet, you might want to get one before it gets a little higher, because who knows how long this is going to stay cheap. But then again, who knows? Maybe they'll reprint it and it'll go back down. Have to wait and see, but as bad as Commander Legends was received, I doubt they're going to reprint this soon. So next we have Maronar. So Champions Kamigawa. This thing's been all over the books, as you can see here from the price. But one thing is for sure, as of right now, it was $14.50. It's now up to $19.50. Well, it says $8.35 here at the time I took this picture. What I'm looking at says $18.50. That's an average price increase of 32%. This is probably respiking again with the new rats that are coming out in Phyrexia All Will Be One that have Toxic. Because this one here gives them all fear. You can put more rats into play. If you have the one rat that gives everything, all your rats toxic, it's going to be a real powerful card in Commander, and people will probably start building around it again, which is really going to spike the interest in this card. So, you might want to wait to see if it goes back down, but if it doesn't go down before the Phyrexian leaks come out, it might be too late. Next, we have Morog, Fury of Okuma. So, as you can see here, this is up on the rise. 2 red and 4. Each creature control gets +1/+0 for each time you've attacked this turn. Landfall, you get an extra attack. Very powerful card in Commander. It was $8.53. Now it's at $10.10. 18% increase. Very popular, mainly because it's a Minotaur, and the old Didgeridoo still floating around out there, guys. Don't forget about that card. Maybe we'll go over it sometime. But if you don't know what it is, look up Didgeridoo from Homelands. Anyway, moving on. Next, we have Ashcoat the Shadow Swarm. Again, Jumpstart 2022 coming in strong. Ashcoat here is probably one of the most expensive cards from the set. As you can see, it's a black and 3 for a 3/4 when it attacks or blocks. Other rats you control get +X/+X in a turn, where X is the number of rats you control. Beginning of your end step, you may mill 4 cards. If you do, return up to 2 rat creature cards from your graveyard to your hand. Again, a powerful mechanic for Commander, especially with all the rats that are coming out. You know, the Toxic, the other one you saw. The Rat Tribal looks like it's going to become a thing, and the Wizards may be pushing into it really hard, which is going to make cards like this very, very popular. Started out $50.98. Mine says 55. This one here is toting 59. But for 55, I've got 7.89% increase as of the filming of this show. And that's pretty good considering that Jumpstart 2022 is a new product, and those are some very good prices. All right, moving right along. Next, we have Ravenous Baboons. Yeah, so I pulled an old one out from Exodus because I saw this in the list and I thought it was weird. But hey, Commander's thing, right? So when it comes into play, destroy target non-basic land. This could also be some Eternal formats doing this as well. Just because 4 mana is a little more than a Stone Rain, but just the fact that it's got legs on it, so you actually have some aggression after it hits the field, might be enough to push us into some kind of play, especially as we get to the point where the older formats aren't just 1-2 mana spells anymore. They can get up to 4 depending on what they're playing. So, the Ravenous Baboons in the last week have went from $1.66 to $9.25 as what I have on here. That's a 457% increase. That is absurd. I know this says $7.99, but the price I'm looking up here says $9.25. You got to realize these prices change as I make clips and cuts, so it's always up and down. It's hard telling. This could also be a buyout, although it's a very weird card to buy out. Since it hasn't been reprinted, it's probably on the reserve list because of the set it's from, but again, I thought it was noteworthy to talk about that. So, moving on. Next, we have Pioneer. So, what's moving Pioneer? Brave the Elements. That's right. Brave the Elements in Pioneer has really picked up steam here lately in the new mono white deck that's in Pioneer. Fueled a lot by Brothers War and all the new cool cards it has. But in Pioneer, Brave the Elements mono white deck is putting on some strong showings and is one of the more popular higher win con decks. And Brave the Elements does that for you because for 1 white, all your white creatures gain protection for color of your choice. So very multi-purpose, very good. And because of that, it's went from 187 to 304. It says 310 here. 62% increase. That is insane for an uncommon, especially one that's kind of narrow like this. But still, if this is going to be where we go with Pioneer, if you've got some Brave the Elements hiding out somewhere, now might be a good time to pull them out and sell them. All right. Next in Pioneer, we have Underworld Breach. So I did not realize how much this card had went up here lately. I'd just like to talk about how since September, this card was floating around $5. It has since climbed up to almost 20 in Pioneer. And this is from the Lotus Bloom combo decks. There's tons of combo decks with Underworld Breach and Pioneer. And they are very popular. They have a decent win rate. People like playing them. So, you know, what are you going to do? But as of last week, it was 1805. Currently coming in at 2548. That's a 41% increase at the time of me looking up the prices. So that's insane. If you've got if you got extra, go do something with them because it's just going up. As Pioneer really starts to take over the formats as one of the more popular places people like to go play. So we'll continue on. Next, we have what I want to do for the week is what I call the loser of the week and the winner of the week. So the loser will be, as I go through here, what I see has lost the most value, and the winner will be the one that has won by gaining the most value. So, loser of the week award goes to Plains number 393, also known as a Secret Lair Plains. I believe this is from the Zodiac collection, if I'm remembering correctly. Um, uh, it was really originally staffed at about 61.57. Now it's down to about $19. You can see here where it went straight up and then dropped off a cliff and it went back up again, but then dropped off a cliff again, as it was almost up to 100. And it has really just in the last week just died, for lack of a better term. Um, but yeah, so that's a 69% decrease, um, in this secret layer for this one land. And I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of the secret layers are dropping. This was probably one of the most prevalent ones. Um, some of them are kind of really absurd, so I'm not sure they're right, so I kind of didn't cover them. But secret layers in general are having a bad showing right now, and they're not holding their value. And maybe that's something we talk about in another video later. So, moving on past this tragedy, we have the winner of the week. So, winner of the week award goes to Chaos Defiler. That's right. This is from the Warhammer Commander decks. I forgot what deck it's from. Don't recognize it off the top of my head. Um, but what did get my attention from the Chaos Defiler was the amazing increase. At the beginning of, during the beginning of this week, it was at 244. Currently sporting around 348. You can see up there, 311 is what I had wrote down when I did the filming. That is a 437% increase on this card. So this is really seeing lots of Commander play. Everybody wants it. Um, and the fact that none of these cards in these Warhammer 40k decks have been reprinted, other than you have to buy the deck, is really fueling a lot of these prices. I think some of them probably get reprinted eventually to kind of tone down these prices. Or maybe they won't. Who knows with Wizards? I mean, they'll do whatever the hell they're feeling like it any day of the week. So it is what it is. But this is pretty amazing. I mean, it's a red, black, and 3 for a 5/4 with trample. When it enters the battlefield or dies, each opponent chooses a non-land permanent that they control and destroys one of them chosen at random. Um, yeah, pretty amazing because it's when it enters or dies. So for 5 mana, not only do you get a 5/4 trampler, but you get to do a lot of damage with it at the same time, and you can pop it in and out of the playfield. You know, it's an ETB effect. It's crazy. It's great in Commander, and it's probably gonna not get cheaper, guys. Especially as a rare. It's in the Demon deck, Demon Construct. Hey, look at that. I'm good. Anyway, so that's the winner of the week, and a pretty good one at that. So, guys, thanks a lot for watching. I do appreciate it. Tell me what you think of it down below. What would you rather me cover? What would you rather me talk about? If you made it all the way to the end, thanks a lot. If you've subbed up, thank you again even more. If you haven't subbed, now's a good time. If you also want to help the channel, links in the description to the eBay store, Patreon. My email's in there. And let's just do the thing, right? Because until next time, be kind. And, as always, I hope to see you across from the game table.